Hi guys, it's Sonine, and this video is to accompany exercise 1 on your criteria sheet, and this is the one where I'm asking you to clip images to text. So let's get started. Pull up Photoshop and let's do File, New, and I've asked you to do a 7 by 7, which I have set up over here. Double check its inches because I know sometimes it'll default to pixels or points. And also 300 pixels per inch, white's fine. Hit create or hit enter or return on your keyboard. And now we have the image that we're looking for, or the artboard we're looking for in terms of size. Now the next thing we're going to do is talk about the text tool. Again, this is just follow up from what we did in class. If you go over here and come down, you'll see this big T, and that is our type tool. And you'll also see right here, oops, let's get back on that. You'll see on our type tool that you have the shortcut, which is T. So don't confuse that with Command or Control T, which was our transform tool, our free transform when we were making objects, bigger or smaller, as we've used it so far in class. But this is type, so if you want to go to the type tool, just hit straight up T. So that's what I'm going to do, T. And then you'll see we have this come up on our mouse or on our cursor, and this is our type tool icon. And so what I'm going to do is I already have something set up here. I've changed the point size. What ends up happening on point size is, let's go ahead and go to something it defaults to. I'm going to click once, and you're going to see now it's flashing. So we have a flashing type tool, and if you go over here, as soon as I clicked on the artboard, it also gave me a new layer. So with this, I'm going to go ahead and type the letter, let's do S, and it's rather small. So at this point, this is where it's still flashing. So just click and drag back over it and highlight it just like you would in a Word document. I'm going to go up here, and it only goes up to 72 for default. So please know that that's just options. You can come in here and change it to whatever you want. I'm going to do 173 and just hit enter, and now we have something a little larger. So then I'm going to click next to it, and as you can see, the type tool is still flashing. So to get out of the type tool, what I might want to do, you know what, I want that a little larger. So I'm going to click again, highlight over it, go back up here and put 200, and then hit enter, and now I'm going to click next to it, and we're flashing again. Now what I'm going to do is I want to get out and I want to get to my move tool so I can move the S around and get it where I want on my artboard. As we know, we hit V on the keyboard and it takes us to our move tool for the shortcut. This is what happens if you hit V while you're still in the active type tool. It gives you a V. So I'm going to delete that. What you need to do to get out of the active flashing type tool is to hit escape, which is on the top left of your keyboard. So hit escape. And you notice we're still in the type tool, but it's no longer active. It's not flashing. So if I were to click again, still being in it, it flashes again, and you see it gives me a new layer over here. So I don't want that, but just to show you what would happen, so let me just drag that layer on down to the trash can and back to this. So I'm still in type tool. So to be able to move it, after I hit escape, then you hit V, and then it'll allow you to move your type tool around. Now let's say you wanted to go back and you're like, you know what, it's still not big enough. So what you do is hit T again, which will take you back to the type tool we see right here, and nothing's happening yet, it's not flashing. But if you look over here and you see the perforated box around the type tool, what that means, if I'm going to click here, it's actually going to give me a new type layer. But I'm going to get snug and close up to it and see how it goes away. Once that goes away, click, and then you go to the existing type box that you want to get to. Then same thing, click, highlight, let's change it to 225. Okay, now I'm ready to go. Click, hit escape, and then hit V, which takes me to my move tool, and I'm ready to clip an image to this. So we had talked before about place and embedding and what embedding is, and I'm going to show you now. You can just take an image that you would like to use. I'm going to go ahead and drag this one. You can just drag it on in, and that's what happens. So then it comes in, and what I'm going to do, since it's still in transform mode, I'm going to go ahead and make it a little smaller, pull it up here, get it the way I want, and then hit enter or return, and now I'm able to use the image. So having the image must be on top of your text tool, so or text letter that you had chosen. So making certain that it is, and if not, then drag the image on top of the letter, hold the Alt key, hover between the two, click, and it clips. So remember too, at this point you can still, while I'm on the image, I can hit V, and I'm on the image layer, I can move this around and kind of get it where I want it. So maybe I want something more like that. And then get it the way you like. Now I also wanted to introduce to you, and we talked about this in class, the FX down here, and we were playing with stroke. And you can put a stroke around this, what makes it a little bit more clear to see. So if I want to put a stroke around the letter, I need to be on the letter layer. So I'm going to click on the letter layer, go to FX, go up to stroke, and this menu pops up. 7 is a little too heavy for this one, I think, so I'm going to go to 5 and see if I like that a little better. Also, I can change the color. Maybe I want something a little less in terms of black. Maybe I want something more brown and warm to kind of go along with the image that's in it. So I'm okay with that. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit OK. And now, as you can see, on that type layer, I have effects and I have stroke, and I can turn them on and off as I would like to. I only have one effect, so I hit effect, the stroke goes away. But let's say I did a couple effects, and then all the effects would be listed here, and then you can individually turn your effects on and off that way with stroke. But effects, if you just hit this one, if you had 3 effects on it, it would take all of them away. So, or not away, but the eye would go away and you would not see them anymore on the layer. And if you decide later you don't want it all, you can click on this and drag it to the trash can and get rid of it. So what I've done here is the first one. I'm asking you to do 3 more. So then what I would do is go back to this top layer, back to my type tool, and then click here. And let's do this. And now I have another one. Let's change the font to something. Let's go. I'm not going to get too picky here. I always say that and then I do. So I'm just going to go to this one, first one, there. So I have Bradley Hand. I have it in bold. And let me do a capital S now. So I'm going to hold the Shift key and do an S. And then I have this. And then I can also, same thing, highlight it. Bold is the only option I get on this one, so that's fine. So I click next to it. Now I want to move it to get it away from the other one. And then I'm going to hit Escape. Hit V, and then move it over here. And then let's say I decide once again, maybe I want it to be a little bigger. So hit the type tool again, and then if I'm over here and you see the box around the type tool, it's going to create a new layer. To actually come in and edit the existing one, go up snug next to it till you see the box disappear, click, it's active and flashing again, and then click and drag over it. And then let me change the font on this one to 235. And it got a little bigger. So then I can click, hit Escape, hit V if I want to move it. And then what I can do is, once again, I'll drag another image in, put it on top. It's in transform mode, so I'm going to take this and put it on top of here. And then, like I said, later on you can move it around, you can make it larger, smaller. And as we know, we've played with this in terms of holding the Shift key, constraining it, and making it larger. If you would like to rotate it a little, if you pull out to the side, notice how all of a sudden that arrow rounds in the corner. Click and drag this way. And if you hold the Shift key while you're dragging, it'll actually straighten it up for you. And so if you would like to have a diagonal, then do that. I'm going to move it a little. And I'm probably going to have to make it bigger. So I'm going to go to the corner again, hold the Shift key, do that. When you're happy with it, hit return. And then I'm going to come over here, same thing, hold the Alt key, click, and there it is. Now that if I wanted to move it, I can come over here. Since my image layer is highlighted, I could hit V and then play around and move this a little if I would like. Also, maybe I want it larger. I could hit Command T this time, not T, but Command T, go to the corner. I know we're used to working at it as a square instead of a diagonal, but go to the corner, hold the Shift key and drag, and then you can move it and then see if there's, so all right, I kind of like that. So I'll do that. And then once again, if you would like to do effects on it, the stroke, go to stroke, go up here. Also too, I got ahead of myself, so I went to stroke, but I need to be on the letter, correct? So I'll do that again. Go to stroke. Then I can play around with the color again if I'd like. Maybe I want to do something blue. You can come up here, you can go pink. You can play around here if that helps. And I think you're getting the idea. So I'm going to choose that, hit OK, hit OK. And do you have to put a stroke around it? Absolutely not. I'm just showing you that this is something that you can do. And so for this assignment, I'm asking you to do 3 different ones, 3 different types of font with 3 different images clipped to it. And then once you're done, you know, if you wanted to go ahead and I'll just do my name since my name starts with an S. I can also come back, hit the type tool again, not next to it, but when I see the box, I can click, and you'll see over here it gave me another layer. Well, obviously I don't think I want it 235 at this point, so let me knock this back down to 75. Hit OK, and then the color is still up here. You can change the color if you want. I'm going to stick with what's up here, but this is where you could change your font color. Maybe I'll do something like that. Hit OK, and then hit Escape, hit V, and then I can move it, and then that way it's on its own layer. You can even put it on top, so you can play around and do that. But this is exercise 1, and this video will help you go through it. And like I said, these are great because it's what we did in class. It's a demo, but also you can stop me, start me, rewind me, whatever you need to do to keep yourself on track to complete exercise 1 for this online component for this week. Okay, thank you.